What's up, SEC fans, quarterback fans, especially Arkansas Razorback fans? Welcome to the QB Spotlight video. And today we're going to talk about the performance of KJ Jefferson against Cincinnati. And this was a game that had a lot of ups and some downs too, right? And from the outside looking in, it looks like it was a game that Arkansas had firmly the entire time. And while they did, it was a game that I think was much closer than people probably realize. So I want to talk about the differences and kind of why Arkansas was able to win. But I want to look at some film of KJ and kind of break down a few of his throws as well. But before we keep going on with the video, just want to encourage you all to consider subscribing to the channel. If you like any QB content or just SEC content in general, this is a channel that always puts out quarterback content. With that said, let's get into it. So the big takeaways from Arkansas yesterday for me, and the main takeaway was Arkansas did not play their best game by any means. It was a game that Cincinnati very well could have won. But it was a game that Arkansas found a way to win. That's what good teams do, right? The teams that are mature, teams that are developed, they find ways to win even when they don't play their best, right? Even when the other team is neck and neck with them, they still find ways to control the game. Because Arkansas was in control the entire game. There were some hairy moments at times, yes, but Arkansas was in control the entire game. But it was much closer than I think people realize. So let's look at the team kind of scores real quick, the team stats real quick. So Arkansas had 63 yards of penalty yards. Cincinnati had 65 penalty yards. Time of possession, Cincinnati had 31 minutes. Arkansas had 28 minutes. Total yards, Arkansas had 430. I'm sorry, Cincinnati had 430. Arkansas had 447. The big, I think, the big factor here was just that those two turnovers that Cincinnati had, especially that interception at the beginning of the game that Arkansas scored off after, and they had a fumble, I think, in midfield, right? Now, Arkansas had a turnover inside their own 5-yard line that Arkansas's defense held strong on and only let up a field goal. So that was huge. So I think that was kind of the main key that Arkansas was able to win because they won the turnover battle, but also KJ Jefferson. And KJ had a good game yesterday, but I think he'd be the first to tell you it wasn't his best game by any means, right? There are a few throws that he missed on that usually he makes, and then there are a few kind of just movements and decisions that he made that a second-year quarterback as mature and as good as KJ probably doesn't want to make, right? Like that sack that we saw, what was it, second and 16 or something, took a sack like on his own 1 or 2 yard line. That could have been a dangerous play and could have led to something even worse than just a bad sack. But with that said, there are a lot of good things, I think, a lot of good takeaways to have from KJ yesterday. Number one, how good he did versus the blitz. I don't remember the final stat line versus the blitz, but at one point he was 8 of 9 with 2 touchdowns against the blitz. And the announcer said yesterday Cincinnati only gave up 3 passing touchdowns the entire year last year when blitzing. And so KJ already had 2 this year, right? So I think that's huge. I think that shows development, maturity, and just knowing where to go with the ball. Another thing was his third down conversions, and not necessarily the stats on third down, but the timely conversions, right? The touchdown to Hazelwood, several third down conversions when they were icing the game at the end of the game, and he was running the ball, right? So huge conversions there. And then lastly, one that I think they could have done even better on, but I still think it was a good first game, was they distributed the ball well through the air. They had 4 guys with at least 3 catches. Their leading receiver is Trey Knox with 6 catches, 70-something yards, and 2 touchdowns. I know Arkansas fans love to see Trey Knox get involved, and I think he could be a real difference maker. We talked about at the beginning of the season, if the tight end gets involved for Arkansas, like watch out, it opens up a whole new threat for the Razorback passing game. So those are 3 really good takeaways, I think. You distributed the ball well. You had timely conversions on third down. And you made big plays when you need to make big plays, and a lot of those big plays were against the blitz. The areas of improvements, and this isn't necessarily all on KJ, is I think you want a few more deep shots. Yeah, KJ had like 8.6 yards per attempt, so that's a pretty good number. But I don't have the exact air yards per attempt, which would be kind of more applicable to what we're talking about, because like the Trey Knox touchdown was like 3 or 4 yards past line of scrimmage, and he took it to the house for 30, 40-something yards. So like that will kind of throw that average off, but still not bad at all. But you still want to see them push the ball down a little bit more. It was a good game, but it left more to be desired, right? You saw a great catch from Hazelwood. You saw Matt Landers make a few really good moves that you think, man, if you can get him the ball in space, who knows what could happen, or throw it deep. But at the same time, we're not calling the plays like we don't get paid for that. But still, you want to see maybe a few more deep shots. So that was my only kind of negative takeaways was There are a few plays that KJ made that he wants back, a few throws that he missed that he wanted back, like that throw to Warren Thompson coming close to the end zone. I think it was a dig route or slant route or post, something like that, like skinny bang route. But overall, good game. Did great versus the blitz. Took care of the football. Besides that, like fumbled snap / handoff. I'm not really sure whose fault that was, but besides that, took care of the football and was very efficient and ran the ball whenever he needed to. So those are kind of my takeaways with KJ, right? So I think a good first game. Look, you had 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I think you'll take that, but there's always stuff to improve on. So let's look at these few throws real quick of KJ Jefferson, my favorite throws of the game, and then eventually we'll have not a movie, a episode or a show or whatever, video come out talking about what KJ needs to do against the South Carolina defense. But let's look at these 2 plays real quick of KJ passing the ball, and then we'll wrap this thing up. All right, so here's my favorite pass of KJ from the entire day. And this is a touchdown to Hazelwood right here, where he just ran just a quick seam route here, and Jefferson threw him open. I want to see more plays like this, especially when you have the weapons like Arkansas has, but I digress. Let's look at the actual play. I think it was a hell of a throw, great read, and just a great definition of what it looks like to throw your guy open, right? So you see you got off coverage here, manned up here with press coverage. KJ's looking at him the whole way, right? So you see, you can kind of see the bottom of the screen that the DB's up top, and you can barely see that. And so KJ already knows, okay, I'm throwing the ball where space is, throws the ball where space is, ends up being a hell of a catch here, right? Stops, makes a good catch, because it was pretty damn good coverage, but this is a great example of what it means to throw your guy open. Boom, ends up being a touchdown there. So again, my favorite throw of KJ of the entire day, throw your guy open. Not to mention, it was 3rd and 7 here, but 8 minutes left. I feel like this throw really kind of changed the tide, if you will. Boom, touchdown there. So again, 3rd and 7. Again, I believe it was versus the blitz too. No, not against the blitz. I apologize, but still 3rd and 7 throw. Great catch as well by Hazelwood. I expect to see him get more and more involved in the offense, but nonetheless, great throw there by KJ. Let's look at one more throw by KJ that I liked. All right, so here's the last touchdown of the game. This is just that dump off to Knox, and Knox did the rest, right, for that touchdown here. And while it doesn't look like much, and again, it's not much to break down, I like the patience of KJ because, look, it's against the blitz, right? So against the blitz, another touchdown. So they're blitzing. They got 5 guys coming. Great job by the offensive line to take care of KJ. Got the running back involved, and he gets out here. And then Knox just gets lost, right? Gets patient, moves in the pocket, boom, wide open. Only, 2 yards past the line of scrimmage, but ends up being a touchdown. So I think that shows the great block here too. That shows the patience by KJ, just taking what the defense gives him, which is what we talked about, take what the defense gives you, and he did, and he let Knox do the rest. Man, Knox could have a really special season here if this game was any indication of what's going to happen down the road. So again, KJ's performance, the positives, the good takeaways, the reasons why they won the game was his ability to complete passes against the blitz with 2 touchdowns against the blitz, his ability to convert timely 3rd downs, and then he distributed the ball well. But I think there's even more in that category, right? The negatives, if you will, or the improvement areas are just a few plays KJ made, a few throws that he missed that he'd be the first to tell you he's got to make those throws. And then I think even though it was a good performance overall, it still left you with just a little bit more to be desired, right? You wanted to see the offense open up a bit more. But at the end of the day, that's just us fans talking. That's just some random person like me on YouTube talking. Like, we're not making those decisions, and they got the win, right? They got the victory. So that's the biggest thing. But I want to hear from you. What do you think about KJ's performance? What do you think about the team performance in general? What do you think about the clips that we showed and kind of broke down in a little bit more detail? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you next time on the next quarterback-related video.